What many people don't realise is if you're an asylum-seeker, you're given an allowance of £5.84 a day for all your daily living expenses. In Edinburgh, a day bus pass costs £4.50 and it's £4.80 in Glasgow. So that's why a simple thing like a bicycle can make a big impact.
A bike can really change somebody's life.
Stephen first realised the impact a bike can have when he met Yaman, a refugee from Syria. Yaman had bought an old bike for a few pounds, and Stephen and his partner Beth took him to a bike shop to see if it could be fixed up.
It was actually Christmas Eve 7 years ago, and to cut a long story short, the bicycle wasn't worth repairing, but the guy who ran the bicycle shop very kindly donated a bicycle to Yaman. And I very simply noticed how just a simple thing, the humble bicycle, actually made a massive difference. And really, in many ways, Yaman was the inspiration behind the project.
Determined to help more people like Yaman, Stephen set up Bikes for Refugees, a charity that refurbishes old bicycles and gives them to people who have newly arrived to seek asylum in Scotland.
Fast forward 6 years, at the end of last year, we reached a nice milestone and we gave out our 2,000th bicycle. So that's 2,000 bicycles that were donated by communities, 2,000 bicycles that have been fixed up by our hard-working and dedicated volunteers, and 2,000 bicycles that are now in the hands of New Scots refugees and supporting the resettlement in Scotland.
Bikes are donated by members of the public, and each one is lovingly restored by volunteers, including some of the refugees who have been helped by the charity.
When we give a bike, you're giving someone a gift, and you don't want to give someone a gift that's going to fall apart. It's not really a very nice welcome, is it? So to me, it's very important that when we give someone a bike, we give them a good, safe and functional bike. So we take a lot of care.
It's not unusual for people having to make choices on a daily basis between expensive public transport costs and being able to put food on their table to feed themselves and their families. So if you give somebody a bicycle, it gives them freedom of movement, and people aren't having to make these difficult choices. It allows people to connect with essential services, health services.
And after I came to Scotland, so Stephen offered me a bike, and that was one of the most important time of my life, and I would say, because starting cycling kind of make me feel that gives me lots of freedom in many ways.
People have experienced and witnessed all sorts of atrocities, conflict and war and persecution and torture. It's not a difficult thing to do, to say to somebody, you're welcome here, and to reach out, and to give that hand of friendship.
Please give a huge Pride of Scotland welcome to Steven McCluskey. I've got a theory. So my dad came to Scotland in 1973, and he said to me, I asked him once recently, I said, when did you start to feel welcome in Scotland? And he said, 20 minutes after I got here. I didn't fully understand what they were saying to me, but they made me feel welcome. I've got a theory that's in our DNA, maybe, that do you include that?
We hope. Yeah. I mean, interestingly, my great-great-grandfather, 100 years ago, would have stepped off a ship not far from here, just down in Leith, fleeing Russian persecution from Lithuania. So I'm sure. I would like to think he was also given a warm welcome then. But it doesn't take a lot just to reach out to people. We've got two very, very special guests to present your award. It's Bridgerton star, I love a bit of Bridgerton, Ruby Barker, and one of Scotland's finest writers, the fabulous Mr. Irvin Wells.
Stephen, it's amazing to be here at possibly one of the most meaningful events, award ceremonies. You truly are an inspiration to us all, and I'd just like to say thank you so much for the work that you do.
I think one of the themes that's emerged today, it's probably a universal theme of these awards, is helping people, helping other people in the community less fortunate than yourself, being able to give out to people. And you see the brilliance of this scheme that encourages this kind of freedom and independence in people. But I'd like to take a step back and look at the impulse behind doing something like this. You know, I mean, you contrast that with opportunists and politicians and people who have trying to manipulate the very basest and lowest fears in people for their own end about refugees, like kind of stop the boats, sink the boats, all this kind of crap. The impulse to do this and to help people is, I think, the most admirable thing about this project. So, Stephen, thank you so much.